Okay, our fourth question for the evening is from Suspicious in Trenton. And Suspicious says, I am buying a small 4-unit from a seller who told me to just show up at the title company with a certified check. There is no purchase agreement. How can this be legitimate? From Suspicious in Trenton.
First of all, I just love what the law clerks are doing with their little, monikers. We call them. It's just cute. Okay.
Little pseudonyms or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. The pseudonyms.
Sure.
Yeah, you should be suspicious because, first of all, no title company in their right mind is going to close a transaction. What's the point of closing a title company if you don't have a purchase agreement?
I know.
The title company, you don't need a title company. Are you getting title insurance? I mean, that makes no sense. First of all, if you're watching, do not give don't hand the seller the check in front of the title company.
Don't do it. Suspicious.
Right, suspicious. The only time cash changes hands without a title company or without anything in writing is when you meet somebody in an alley or in front of the house or what have you, and you say, here's a check and I'll take a deed. And if you're going to do something like that on your own without doing any due diligence, without having anything in writing, you're an absolute fool. All right? Especially in the past. I mean, it's always been foolish, but I think that, there's a lot of new people and bad actors, unfortunately, in the real estate investment, wholesaling and flipping arena. There's a lot of really great people doing really good work. And Blair, I know the work that you've been doing and how you and your husband have been growing your business. But honestly, why would you ever, yes, be suspicious. I'm not going to lecture. I do my best lecturing at home. That is like the worst thing you could do ever. Get it in writing. Go get a title policy. Go get a title search at the very least. Why don't you knock on the door of the house to see that somebody's living there? Okay, so just real briefly, not to bore you, I actually have a case that's in Wayne County Circuit right now. A guy purchased a home. This guy's my witness. Purchased a home for close to $100,000. He purchased a home, gave cash to the seller, and the seller knew that the occupant of the home was actually buying this property on land contract, but the land contract had never been filed, which is a no-no. That's a whole different segue, a whole different story. But the purchaser of the property never went. He saw lights on in the home, but he thought there was a tenant living there. So he thought he was buying a property that was tenanted, right? That he was getting a turnkey investment. Well, that turnkey investment, the person or the occupant living in the property was purchasing under a land contract from an estate.
Wow.
Okay, so who's at fault? Who's at fault here? I represent, thank goodness, I represent the occupant who's purchasing the property and land contract, who one day opens the door and there's people there ready to evict him, and he said, what the hell's going on? I have a land contract on this property.
That's bizarre.
So, I mean, it's crazy stuff. And like I said, every morning, going to work, it's fun. It's somebody's unfortunate expense, but what it really is there's never a dull moment, and we always have really, interesting scenarios. So yeah, don't go and just buy a property. The best are the guys out of state who buy properties over the phone. Okay, I actually have a blog post on my website called "Why You Should Not Buy Property Just by Calling Over the Telephone."
I know. You just got to wonder, right. How does the person on the other end think that that's going to all play out? Like this person who says, just show up and bring me a check, or that person that tried to sell the house that they weren't even able to sell. It's like, how do you think that that's actually going to end for you?
My mentor, a mentor for many, many years when I was a young man, once had a great saying. He said, those are people who are enemies of their own money. And that's it. So don't be an enemy of your own money.
Exactly. So suspicious, do your diligence.